there's that delay. That seems kind of weird in Facebook. Good morning, Facebook Live. We're joining in just about a minute early just to allow people the opportunity to get in the room, because we've learned that once you go live, there's a little bit of a lag within all of the platforms. So we're just going to hang out here for a minute and chat and be friendly, and we're just talking about how lovely the weather has been here in South Dakota over the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
And going out has not been a good time.
Definitely not. I've had to coerce my dog with many, many treats to get her to go outside to go potty.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Not fun. Because as much as we don't want to go out, if they don't want to go out, that's a whole other deal.
Yep. Yesterday she pulled me back in. She was like, nope, not doing it. So.
I didn't want to go out yesterday either.
Mm-hmm.
No. My granddaughter had a program at school last night, and I kept waiting to see if it was going to be canceled, and it wasn't. So I got to go out about 6 o'clock last night in the 50-mile-an-hour winds and blowing snow, and it really wasn't as bad as I was mentally expecting it to be. So it wasn't terrible, but there wasn't a lot of traffic,
which makes it easier.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Well, we are going to go ahead and get started. So today, Karina Keys,
Taylor Nelson
with KeyMedia Solutions, and we're going to talk to you about recruiting trends that we're seeing. But before we get into that, just a quick overview. We have started to kind of bring back this 10 at 10. At KeyMedia, we did them for several years and then kind of took a break from it and have decided it's a good time to bring it back. And the goal is just to chat with you for roughly 10 minutes or so once a week on just trends and things that we're seeing, things we're finding interesting, things we think that maybe you should know. And so we want it to be very conversational. Please pop in whatever platform you're joining us from, pop in the chat and ask questions, add to the conversation. Let us go and kind of challenge us a little bit. If you want to do that, that would be okay too. So today we are going to talk about recruiting. And we do that. We've got a handful of clients that we do specifically recruitment efforts for them on employee recruitment tactics, trying to help them fill open positions that they have. And Taylor and I get to work on a couple of those pretty closely together. And we were just, talking about how much has changed just in the last year, let alone the last couple of years. We know that COVID changed everything, the rapid evolution. There was a lot of people changing jobs in 2021, 2022. We're starting to see that slow down, but the way that employers are actually finding those employees that they're hiring is also changing. And our focus is on the digital awareness and the digital recruitment side of things. Our goal is to get them into their ATS, their employee tracking system. After that, it is up to the business. So we will not be talking about that today because that's not our area of expertise. But what is one of the most interesting things, or the most interesting trend that you're seeing right now as it comes to finding those good employees?
Brand awareness continues to play a very important role in bringing people in the door. It's been important, but it continues to be even more important. So your ads and making sure people know who you are as an employer, is probably one of the most important things. And getting employee testimonials, that plays a huge part in that as well. So if you can get someone to, even if it's a short 15, 20-second video of someone talking on camera about, why they like working for you, and you can use that in your digital ads, it's super powerful.
Yeah, and we've talked about that for a long time. We've always talked you have to tell people who you are. And honestly, what we're learning is that the most important or the most valuable candidates are those that are currently happy with where they're at or not necessarily actively looking or unemployed. So how can you sway somebody that's, not necessarily actively pursuing another position right now to apply for a position? Yeah, for sure. So in that, I can't read Hannah's question, talk at the same time.
Yeah.
So.
It looks like Hannah asked us a question. And that would be, what is your favorite platform to recruit on? Oh gosh. So I have two. It depends on if you're recruiting for a white collar job or a blue collar job. Um, Blue collar, I'm old school, and I will tell you Craigslist all day long. Um, it's very
Yeah.
easy to navigate, and it's very easy to get applicants in the door, and it's not very expensive to use either. So your cost per applicant is very low. For white collar, I really like Google Ads.
Yeah, we've really
Mhm.
seen that has had a significant impact on the quality, the volume, and the conversion metrics when we're doing some of those branding tactics in addition to the pay-per-click.
For sure.
Yeah. I will tell you, when Taylor first suggested Craigslist, I was like, what? What? Tell me more. And it took a little bit of a sell job to me, but we have started implementing it, and the being able to track and report on conversions is definitely challenging because Craigslist doesn't really have that ability to do that well yet. I mean, they're really not built for recruiting and tracking and reporting on that. But our clients are reporting that they are definitely feeling the impact, and it really is a cost-effective addition into their overall strategy. Yeah, that has been interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't see Craigslist changing its platform anytime soon to be able to track those KPIs.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
We can keep asking.
They're very old school.
That's the old school approach. I wouldn't assume Craigslist is old school, but, yeah, compared to some of the other things that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how do you feel like for that branding element, video versus static ads versus PPC ads versus social media ads? Do you find that one is better than another, that one gets higher quality of a return on ad spend?
For sure, social media definitely gets a higher return on ad spend. And I think that's just because, your younger people are there. And that's typically the people who you're going to get to jump from job to job. Your older people typically like to stay in their jobs for quite some time just because they've built up, their retirement or some of those other benefits that they have. Whereas your younger people, you can usually pull them in from, seeing something like, oh, the culture is so great at, a different company. And playing those on social media, that's where they spend most of their days when they're outside of work, is scrolling through social media. So playing those on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, that's really, that's really, the play there.
So you're probably wondering, if you're tuning in, that we haven't mentioned LinkedIn yet. And there's a reason. I mean, and I think like everything else, there's a strategy, and who you're trying to recruit has an impact on where those ads should be placed. Like, Facebook is definitely better for younger demographics, more entry-level career positions, or positions that don't require previous experience. LinkedIn has a play when you're looking at senior level, white collar, college educated, really specific goals.
Yeah.
But we've also found that LinkedIn is the absolute most expensive place.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah. If you have a very specific job that you are looking to recruit for, LinkedIn can do wonderful things for you. It's just can be very costly. But you can run very, if you have like an email list that you can target people already through your database or something like that, those campaigns tend to work out a lot better than just a campaign from scratch.
And then Scott just popped up and asked, so do you find it more effective to focus on culture, benefits, the job itself, or a nice blend of all?
So this is a great question. And, it's a hard one to answer just because the recruiting world is constantly changing, but definitely a nice blend of all. So I always say, you need to play on your culture and your benefits, But we have found when you lead a job applicant to that specific job itself, they are more likely to apply than when you lead them to a page that's just about your culture, because then they have to go find another page where that job actually is to read about the job, and they're more than likely going to fall off. So the less clicks that it involves to get to that actual landing page where that job is, they're more likely to apply than just leading them to that overall brand awareness page.
And that's a great point, because we do see that happen frequently. The harder it is to find the job to apply for, the less likely you're going to get people to apply for the job.
Yeah.
And we keep saying, you know, the quality of the landing page. You should have a really good landing page that talks about your culture, that talks about your benefits. And I think if it's a culture ad, taking them to that culture page with some easy, like, steps into a certain position or a certain job is good. But if you are promoting a specific job, go to that job. Don't take them to a culture page.
For sure. And you know, when you're writing your job descriptions, you can also add those culture pieces into that very easily, and put those benefits like lower on the page, so that it's not like right at the top where like your job description should be and like the pay and all of that important stuff, but you can put it down lower so that the applicants can still see all of that important stuff. And that tends to see more success as well.
And it blends all of it together then.
Yep.
It still makes it easy. You're still talking, leading with culture, and talking about the description. We're already past 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That went fast. Thanks for joining us. We will be on again, not necessarily us will be on again next week, but somebody from the company will be on again next Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Put on your calendar, plan to tune in. If you have questions, keep adding them in. We will answer them as they pop up throughout social media and get back to you as soon as you can. We have a case study on recruitment on our website. We will also add a link to that into the comments. So if you want to go back and refer to that, you absolutely can. And as always, we're here and available and love to talk about this. If you want to have a conversation, let us know.